Hi, this is Dana. I will pick up now the previous video topic of trauma bonding and especially an energy diagnosis on this because my previous video interrupted and God has shown me to take advantage of this break and to zoom in on the topic of trauma bonding so people will understand how this because this is the essence of the programming, right? So people will understand how this works from energetic perspective, right? Because uh, essentially we came in 3D in a lower dimension, higher density of darkness, and we need to transmute energy and raise vibration so we can get back to 5D. What will happen next is between each individual and God. The point of our fight here in 3D is to transmute darkness and raise vibration, to heal, because that's the transmutation of the darkness, to heal and to raise vibration so we can get back into 5D. And then when we get to that level of that dimension, then each individual will be able to work with God directly, right? So then everything will be different, much easier, I hope. So, talking about trauma bonding, this is the essence of the programming, essentially, because it leads to your inner child, which is essentially your subconscious level, to freeze, like in a shock, in a non responsive position. So, you imagine your subconscious in the form of an inner child, which resides within you on soul level, as a trauma is being inflicted upon you. It's just imagine, like when you have a fight with somebody who's and you beat up somebody and that individual is crawling, I don't know how to explain this in English, like in a um, sort of fetus position, right? So that is how exactly how your subconscious is reacting to a trauma. It becomes non-responsive. It's in status of shock. So these trauma situations are being created on purpose. This is part of the draconian implant, um, which is placed upon souls who incarnate into 3D. This is how the density, darkness, and density is being created. Now, the consequences of this, and unfortunately, in this matrix, there are many people who actually work precisely for that. They actually work to create trauma on individuals in order to enslave them, to use them, to program them. Um, so the consequences of your subconscious being traumatized, being entering in a trauma bonding relation, is that you will not be able to speak your truth. You will not be able to fight back. It's not being able, it's too much said. Gradually, as you accept this or more trauma is inflicted upon you, you will lose gradually your ability or willingness to speak your truth, to fight back, to fight for protecting your boundaries. You will gradually, slowly accept things being imposed on your will. You will accept to do things which are against your free will choice. And this can develop differently for different people. And here it becomes a matter in between the empaths and the warriors, how they react to trauma bonding, right? Some people will basically just stay in this position of trauma and will continue to suffer, not necessarily accepting what is being told to them to do, uh, but not fighting for themselves enough. Okay, these are the empaths usually, which go through suffering. There's the other type of individuals um, who uh, act as a consequence of trauma bonding. Unfortunately, uh, these are the warriors, but unfortunately, many of them act the wrong way. So they act, some of them act by accepting what is being told to do, right? So then they start doing harm on others, harm on themselves, and so on, by accepting wrong practices, by accepting to do this to others, saying that, this is how it's done. I've heard actually individuals, smart individuals, um, who basically said, this is it. This is how astral works, you know. And they were saying, actually, astral presumes a lot of, for example, a lot of sexual attacks. And I said, no, it doesn't presume. This is a choice you make. It shouldn't be this way. And I actually asked God, and God said, this is not so. This is you're doing. You people are doing this. It's not, it shouldn't be like this. It's not allowed, actually. In astral, the free will is respected. By the way, the demons respect free will of individuals. If you make your choice with free will, the demon will accept it if you don't submit to that impulse which the demon is placing on you. Okay, so we have the two categories: those who choose to suffer, okay, and those who actually follow and accept what is being placed upon them. Some of them, these are the people, the toxic people, the karmics, the ones who say, hurt people hurt other people. It shouldn't be this way. We all have been hurt one way or another. It's a matter how you choose to react. You become karmic because you accept it. At the core, that soul that usually becomes karmic and does a lot of harm, it is meant to be a warrior. Unfortunately, the actions that soul chose to take after trauma being inflicted upon him are negative actions, namely to submit to darkness and act on behalf of darkness. Exactly, how they say the hurt people hurt other people. It's not true. The hurt people don't have to hurt other people. They can heal themselves. you know that's a choice you make. Anyhow, you have the two categories, and based on that, this dementia matrix, which does this programming, decides to either own you. And own you means that you submit to them, you're submissive, and you follow them. And these are the ones who decide to follow the programming, to accept the programming. Okay, everybody's doing open relations. Now we should all be doing open relations so we can fit in. Everybody's doing group sex. Well, everybody should be doing group sex. Actually, no, that's a choice you made. And if you make this choice, you go into the category of them owning you, which means a much deeper programming will come to you because you accepted by your choice. So that leads to attachments and possessions of darkness and extraterrestrial forces, which are harder to shake off because you accept it. So you must work much deeper on healing. The other ones who choose to suffer but not do harm on others, which are usually the empaths, um, enter in a different category. They don't get to own you because you don't accept to do those things, but they will harm you because they will continue to inflict this trauma and bullying on your subconscious level. Why? For the simple reason, because even by that, by your suffering and torturing you, you literally, first of all, they take they block your power. Let's say they block your power of action, so you don't achieve your purpose, and you eliminate through that suffering. You eliminate energy, and they feed as a vampire. So basically, the two categories are either they own you or they vampirize you. Vampirizing you means they feed from your pain, from your torture, right? Owning you means that you follow them and you become one of them. Okay, these are the two categories usually that are generated by the trauma bonding, which again, it's a strategy employed on purpose by individuals. They create trauma on other people in order to program them. This is the trauma bonding is most common way to break your willpower, to break your spirit, because you don't fight anymore, because your subconscious is in a shock level, and you cannot, as long as it's in non-responsive phase, they will push further and further on programming on you. And then it becomes a matter of conflict between your subconscious level and your conscious level. So it becomes an internal conflict, which basically leads to more trauma, because you're fighting with yourself, and you enter into a totally different area. The one who has the password, let's say the key to your trauma bonding, the one who knows how your trauma bonding was created, and what are you is your subconscious um, traumatized by, can program and torture you, can program you or torture you, or both. Okay, so this is how it works. They create the trauma, then they keep that key as a password, and they pass it from one to another, and they tell each other how to attack you, basically. And the one who has that key can become the one who tortures you or the one who programs you. Okay, um, this is the basis of programming, and it's meant to create submission, which is the next phase after being non-responsive for most people. If not, as I said, it's you will stay into a trauma, a continuous trauma. And all of this, of course, is before you start awakening and you start your ascension. Once you start your ascension and you start your spiritual fighting and your healing, then you start to learn about these things, heal yourself, and then you take your power back. Then you can reprogram yourself. I made a video explaining how to reprogram yourself and eliminate that trauma. So they cannot use that key anymore on you. They will continue to harass you and try to create trauma on you. You have to know this. This is what they do. Hopefully, somebody will stop them at some point, or enough of us will ascend. Anyhow, once they have the key, access to your subconscious level, they will try to create this submission. They can actually ask uh, questions to learn more about what are you thinking, what are you feeling, so they can learn more how to harm you more, basically. Or they can dictate actions or feelings to your subconscious level. You know, this is the subliminal programming, where they do this on a subconscious, supraconscious, and unconscious level. These are the three levels. I mean, wake up in the morning, try to do a meditation, a healing, an energy healing meditation, and ask God to clear your subconscious, supraconscious, and unconscious level of subliminal programming and all projections on by holograms, by levitation, by hypnosis, by um, any kind of attacks, and you will see immediately the distinction. You will see, you will feel the energy upgrade. You must understand, even for a few seconds, even if it's just, you know, for a few seconds. uh, Usually I, for example, ask God to resurrect my subconscious, my supraconscious, and unconscious level to the original blueprint. And then God will, even attachments can be released for a few seconds by that, and that's enough for you to understand what was done, because you feel it when it comes back. And then you, if you're in a silent meditation, then you pay attention and you observe what is going on, you can understand what is going on in your energy field, so you can start fighting, right? Because as long as you fight on conscious level and reject everything that is being done onto your subconscious level and everything, the programming doesn't work. You must know this. As long as you reject this and you just fight it, it doesn't work. It does become an internal conflict between your subconscious and your conscious level, but it's the first step that gives you awareness, and is the first step for you into gaining back your power, taking back your power, healing, and being oneness, to integrate the subconscious and the conscious level. This is important. And in order to do this right, so you can test what I'm saying, because I'm not just making this video so I can speak for myself, or to be heard, like, you know. This is important so you can test it yourself. And it's important that you engage with God yourself on this. Do my meditation of light body meditation. and the silent meditation together, and also the reprogramming of the mind meditation. There are three meditations next to the Kundalini meditation, Kundalini rise meditation, which are in the beginning. I think I created those like in December or January, something like this. So go back to those and try to do this and to test and observe your subconscious and supraconscious level and how your energy field is being changed by this. Um, and you will see that this is basically in a nutshell the trauma bonding. And they what they do, they create a trauma, and usually they try to control you by that trauma in one way or another. And this is a very important part of the healing, because all of the rest come from this. You must understand what was your initial programming, what they believe to be your key, and so on. um, so this basically video goes hand in hand with the previous video where I talk about diagnosis of energy for sexual attacks, sexual programming, and toxic relations in general. This is the trauma bonding energy diagnosis, which is usually at the basis of the programming strategy they employ. I hope this helps you. And I actually ask you to test it yourself and go back to the meditations which I mentioned. You find them on this channel, and try to test it yourself. Try to take a salt bath, have a light dinner, try to drink one of the cleansing teas of tea of ginger, and to sort of purify a little bit your energy before you do these meditations. I already made a video and I explained there. I gave you a few recipes on how to cleanse your energy before you start working with meditations, because there's layers and layers and layers of darkness being thrown at you, and cleaning your energy space and your energy by food, drinks, and so on is very important before you start the meditation, so you can actually increase the level of your awareness, because you will achieve more through that meditation, right? And I invite you to do a test with these meditations, which I already posted here on my channel, and to check everything that I presented to you as a energy diagnosis in the previous and current video, and you will see it for yourself that some of this darkness will be released, so you can test it that this is not something abstract. This is something very real and is happening to you, and you can gain this knowledge. You can gain, I mean, energy awareness. It's something you preserve through cleaning and keeping clean your energy in many ways, through the energy which is thrown at you, but also through the energy you create or you accept upon yourself. So this is something that you can achieve. um, of course there are gifts like energy diagnosis and so on. This is a gift because this is a higher level of awareness, but that doesn't mean, I mean, all of it you can do it yourself. All of the energy cleansing you can do it by yourself, just working on your energy and cleansing it, and checking all of this. This is just not just food for thought. This is something should be like an exercise. God said tell them to do an exercise. This is like an exercise, like a gym exercise sort of, yeah. So do an exercise like God says, to check how what is the level of your energy awareness, and to check how you can improve it. So you can actually test all of this by yourself. And I highly recommend actually you talk to God and you ask God to come help you, to cleanse you, um, through claiming justice, judgment, and punishment. Or if you don't feel comfortable yet, because I know many people have this blockage, mental blockage, which is also a programming, not to ask judgment or punishment on others. Um, just ask justice. Just say these words: I ask justice from God, Father, from Holy Trinity. And God will come and show you this. Yeah, that's all I can say for now. um, I hope this helps you. Please let me know if you have questions about these two videos, because these are really really important. There are many people which are being affected by this, and unfortunately those affected affect others, much more people. This is not a fair thing. And You must know that these two videos I made and these videos that I'm making these days are divinely guided, are part of God's decision to engage with individuals. This is the result, God says, from the judgment placed upon you, karmics. And Because this is providing you the knowledge to deal with your choices to create, harbor, and project darkness onto others. And God says actually that this is a response to the excuses you made during the judgment. By blaming that you don't know, you don't have energy awareness, you don't know how to get energy awareness, blaming it on others, and so on. So, God is showing me just now as I speak that this is the reason why He made me do these videos, in order to answer the excuses you invoked during the divine judgment, while you kept saying that it was not your fault, that you didn't mean to harm others. God is showing me that some of you lied when you said this, and some of you are honest. Some of them were honest. Lack of knowledge about how to deal with this. But most of you actually lied. God is showing me just now that this is the reason He asked me to make these videos, which I posted these days, about all of this toxicity and all of these issues. So you are still under judgment, and He's giving you this information through me, so you'll stop making those excuses. So then I guess the logic thing would be for you to follow this, because you're still under judgment. And if you don't follow this will just prove that you lied when you made excuses, and you don't really want to cleanse your energy and to pass the test, so you can get whatever clemency you've been asking for. Okay, there you go. Now I understand what is going on. I was in a bit of a confusion why God is guiding me to make these videos. Okay, there you go. Thank you for being on my channel. If you want to support my work, you have my PayPal account in the description box below. And if you have any questions about these particular videos, I will be happy to answer. Just post the question and I will answer it in the next video. Okay.